Trump says he's not joking about running for a third term. Now, as the president put it, a lot of people want him to do it, and there are methods which you could do it. Congressman Andy Ogles, for one, already introduced a resolution just days after Trump's inauguration in January to allow a president 3 terms in office, but no more than 2 consecutive 4-year stints. The way he explained it, Trump has proven himself to be the only figure in modern history capable of reversing our nation's decay and restoring America to greatness. And he must be given the time necessary to accomplish the goal. You know what I think, guys? Though it would be great to have a third term for President Trump, the real point behind this talk of a third term is he's simply trolling Democrats and their mainstream media allies. These people love getting all riled up over every little thing Trump says, so he's actually baiting them to keep them busy and out the way of his administration. You know what I mean, guys? Because even without a third term, the president has his work already cut out for him. Just recently, a TikTok user, Bilal Dong, posted a disturbing video on the popular social media website calling on people to shoot at ICE agents on site. Can you believe this, guys? Yeah, actually shoot at Americans just doing their job. Unbelievable. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem shared a thread of the video and vowed that if you threaten or attempt to harm a law enforcement officer, you will be found and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Amen to that, right, guys? And so this incident comes less than a week after TikTok removed the hashtag Cartel Talk from its search engine after cartel members were caught using it to highlight their crimes and recruit human smugglers. Now, amidst all of this, you're probably wondering, so what are Democrats doing, right? A whole lot of nothing but calling Trump a Nazi, a racist, a threat to democracy, and anything else that they can come up with. And let me tell you what they're not doing. It's speaking out against the violence and the vandalism against Tesla cars and dealerships, also Tesla owners and workers. In fact, the media confronted House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and the 2 Democratic leaders just flat out refused to condemn the violence against Tesla. But hey, Democrats like them, they have no problem getting all riled up over President Trump. Just watch how NBC News' Christian Walker tries to make a storm in a teacup of what President Trump told her. Here, watch the clip.
President Trump called me this morning. We discussed a range of topics, including the possibility of him serving a 3rd term. He's joked about it.
I've raised a lot of money for the next race that I assume I can't use for myself, but I'm not 100% sure.
But these were his most extensive comments yet. He told me he's not joking. He said there are methods by which you could do it, but he said it's far too early to think about it. He said he's focused on his current job. At the same time, I did press him on those methods. There's been some discussion about the possibility of Vice President J.D. Vance running perhaps at the top of the ticket with President Trump running in the number 2 slot and then swapping if they were to win. President Trump telling me that is a method. He said there are other methods. I asked if he could give me details, and he said flatly no. Now, President Trump's allies have said that they are seriously looking at this.
We're working on there. We're not prepared to talk about it publicly, but in a couple of months, I think we will be.
In a couple of months? Looks like something to look forward to, huh, guys? Now, here's President Trump answering the same question in person. Watch.
You said you were not joking about a 3rd term, about possibly wanting a 3rd term. Does that mean you're not planning to leave office on January 20th?
I'm not looking at that, but I'll tell you, I have had more people ask me to have a 3rd term, which is in a way a 4th term, because the other election, the 2020 election was totally rigged. So it's actually sort of a 4th term in a certain way. I just don't want the credit for the 2nd, because Biden was so bad. He did such a bad job. And I think that's one of the reasons that I'm popular, if you want to know the truth. I think I'm popular because we've done a great job. I think we've had the best almost 100 days of any president. And most people are saying that. And it's an honor. We're bringing back our country. We're respected as a country again. And we're strongly respected. And people are amazed. I was with some very important people today, and they said that they've never seen a turnaround of a country as fast as this. Even look at our border. We have nobody coming in. And you can come into our country, but you have to come in legally. But we have nobody coming in to our country. It's almost shut down. They've never seen anything like this.
He specifically said he's not looking into that. So they had to keep asking to try and get him to misspeak. They weren't successful in doing that. Stop spinning it. Look at him grinning and his staff laughing. He's 100% trolling the media. I think Trump just loves trolling Democrats. That's what this really is, guys. Don't you think so? So like the president has been saying, a lot of people want him to do this, but he basically tells them that we have a long way to go. It's very early in the administration and Trump is focused on the current term. But he did mention that there are methods which you could do it. The 22nd Amendment of the Constitution states that no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. But Walker asked if it was possible Vice President J.D. Vance would run for president and then later pass the role on to Trump, to which Trump said, that's one method. I also mentioned Representative Andy Ogle's constitutional amendment to allow Trump to be elected to a third term. So the amendment would read, no person shall be elected to the office of president more than 3 times, nor be elected to any additional term after being elected to 2 consecutive terms, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. So yeah, I know it says that Trump can run for a third term since he didn't get consecutive terms. More interesting really is Ogle's point that the president has proven himself to be the only figure in modern history capable of reversing our nation's decay and restoring America to greatness. And he must be given the time necessary to accomplish that goal. Now that a lot of people could get behind. Case in point, Trump's been greeted at a lot of recent public events with the chance of 4 more years. And we know the man is no stranger to making history, being one of only 2 presidents in U.S. history to serve non-consecutive terms. Now, if he does go for a third, he would be following in the footsteps of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the only American president elected to more than 2 terms, dying partway through his 4th. Another consideration, Trump is set to be the oldest ever commander-in-chief when he completes his 2nd term in January 2029 at age 82 and 7 months, beating out former President Joe Biden, who left office in January at age 82 and 2 months. So he would be nearing the age of 87 at the end of a hypothetical third term. But there have been a small handful of leaders that have led major Western democracies well into old age. West Germany's Chancellor Konrad Adenauer was 87 when he resigned in 1963 after 14 years in power, and is historically well regarded for his accomplishments in rebuilding his country from the aftermath of World War II. So yeah, something to think about, right? Now, for me personally, I think Trump's mainly talking about this for the troll factor. Already, he's got Democratic New York Representative Dan Goldman bringing up a resolution which would reaffirm that the 22nd Amendment is explicit in prohibiting presidents who have served 2 full terms from running for the presidency again. Now, Goldman even wants to further condemn President Donald Trump's frequent statements suggesting that he could serve past the end of his most recent term. Now, what did I tell you guys? Some good old-fashioned Democratic trolling is always so satisfying because these people just can't take a joke. But what do you guys think? Drop a quick yes in the comments down below. Hit the like button to show your support for the idea, at least of a third term for President Trump. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss out. Now, if Trump ends up getting a third term, it's because our enemies aren't letting up. I mean, just watch this TikToker calling on people to shoot at ICE agents if you see them.
Shoot at ICE agents on sight. That's right. If ICE agents are trying to take you or a loved one, shoot them on sight. The way they're pulling up, with masks on, with unmarked vehicles, no badge, no nothing, it could be anybody. It can be gang members. You have every right to shoot at them. This would be the best self-defense case. You're just in fear for your life. You don't know who's behind that unmarked vehicle or who's behind that mask. This is ridiculous. What is our country coming to? Why would you want to be an ICE agent anyway? Do you like separating kids from their parents? Do you like deporting students that are studying? I can understand deporting a gang member or criminals, but innocent people, it's ridiculous. The way these ICE agents are pulling up with masks on, unmarked vehicles, they are pulling up like gang members. They are pulling up like the mafia. You might as well shoot them on sight and have your day in court. Take care, guys. Now I'm out.
Seriously, guys, he's calling for violence against ICE, and it's just not right. His rationale: unverified claims that agents had been showing up in masked, unmarked vehicles and without their badges. He says it's self-defense because it could be anybody. It can be gang members. And so this means, according to this man, you have every right to shoot at them because they're pulling up like the mafia. But man, the only mafia wannabe I'm seeing here is this guy. I mean, he's even got Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem responding and saying that actions would be taken against the person who posted this video. Already, the user Bilal Dong appeared to take down the video after the press reached out to him on TikTok. And like with what Democrat rhetoric, this kind of talk from people on TikTok, it just incites real world violence and it undermines the rule of law. That's according to National Border Patrol Council Vice President Hector Garza. Now, seriously, guys, they need to take a closer look at the TikTok because this happened less than a week after TikTok removed the hashtag Cartel Talk. Here, watch.
Problem with these TikTok videos and some of these social media channels that promote human smuggling and child trafficking and human trafficking is that other copycats come out of this situation, and now we have a sense that involving yourself in illegal activity is something that is proud to be of, and it's not. It's sending the wrong message to our youth, our communities, and definitely we do hope that President Trump makes it very clear to TikTok that these types of channels must be taken down so that we do not promote illegal activity, especially that we do not promote cartel activity, which they are now terrorists.
The cartels who do unspeakable things are recruiting people via TikTok. This is crazy times, right? But yeah, I was able to find an example of this cartel talk that they're talking about here. Check this out. Now, a lot of videos are pretty much just like this. Cartels flashing piles of money, jewelry, and luxury items that were used to entice teens in America and Mexico to smuggle illegal immigrants across the U.S. border. More than that, the videos prove that the cartel members are not afraid to boast about their illegal operations, flaunting their cash on TikTok and other apps, bragging about the ease at which they can evade authorities. Now, these people are despicable, and it's not just TikTok. They use other social media sites, including Snapchat and Instagram, among others. They use encrypted messaging apps, usually WhatsApp, to communicate anonymously with cartel members, getting audio or text messages instructing them where to pick up their human payloads. In August, 22 people were indicted in Arizona for allegedly recruiting truck drivers using Snapchat posts of cash glamorizing illegal migrant smuggling. Now, apart from problems at the border, we got these Tesla attacks that are happening all over the place. Here, just watch this one plus the Tesla's owner's reaction.
Tesla takedown protesters marching across the country yesterday during the far left's Global Day of Action. Our next guest has been the victim of an actual attack after police in Texas arrested this suspect, accused of ramming his four-wheeler into a Tesla during an unprovoked hit and run last week. The owner of that Tesla, Vereda Kerstaffen, joins us now. Vereda, good morning to you. I mean, this was your car, and this video has been seen by a whole lot of people. So what is your reaction to this man hitting your car with a four-wheeler?
I was stunned. I was upset.
Yeah, and you were probably upset because this ended up costing you money. Tell us about that and how much damage he did.
He did quite a bit. I estimated so far it's between $2,700 and $3,500.
Now, seriously, guys, like my uncle said, the idiocy of these people is on another level. But even more appalling is that Democrats are once again given the silent treatment to these Tesla attacks. In fact, just a handful of Democrats have really unequivocally denounced the ongoing attacks on Tesla showrooms, charging stations, and vehicles, even as the FBI has launched a task force to crack down on Tesla crime. The Justice Department announced charges against arson suspects, and Attorney General Pam Bondi labeled the attacks domestic terrorism. House Democratic leaders Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi have been giving the cold shoulder when asked about it. Hakeem Jeffries refused to acknowledge the question when asked to denounce the violence as his staff ushered him inside the Capitol. Nancy Pelosi brushed off a question about her take on the situation with a polite wave and said that she was running late. Yet, both Democratic leaders have been pretty steadfast in their rejection of domestic terrorism up until now. In 2022, during Biden's time, Jeffries clearly said, we have to act decisively to address the poison of white supremacy and domestic terrorism in America. It's a poison, it's a cancer, it's destroying our society. It shouldn't be a partisan issue. It's not a Democrat issue or a Republican issue dealing with the crisis of violent white supremacy. It's an American issue. Nancy Pelosi applauded her Democratic colleagues in 2018 for refusing to accept the House GOP's continued failure to investigate domestic terrorism. So the question is, are they only against certain types of domestic terrorism? Because why else would they just stay quiet about these dangerous Tesla attacks, right? Drop me your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Also, don't forget to check out these videos that are about to pop up here in a second. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you next time.